I'm going to try to land a Sing onto Tornadus again. I'm 1 for 2 so far. Koraidon gets the double protect. Nice. We know we take this Bleak Windstorm. Oh, it crits, but we still take it. And we land the Sing. Okay. As I'm recording this, the February Global Challenge is currently underway. I've been playing it myself with a silly little team that I'll maybe show eventually, but I wasn't very motivated for this one. I was very close to not signing up, and I just slapped together a gimmicky team that I didn't really test and is not working super well, although I'm kind of trading wins and losses. It's not the worst run ever. But yeah, the Global Challenge is ongoing, and I had to take a deeper look at one of the teams I fought in this challenge, because at one point I loaded up a game and my opponent had Brionne on their team, the middle stage between Popplio and Primarina. Tell me in the comments if you didn't even remember this Pokemon's name. But yeah, it was there at preview, and it was there on the field. They led with it next to their Koraidon. So thanks to that, I get to see a little bit of how this team works, although I am of course missing some information. There's no paste for me to show because it was just a Global Challenge opponent. I have done a bunch of guesswork in terms of some of the sets here. The Pokemon that they brought against me were Koraidon, Brionne, Gothitelle, and Fluttermane. And even then, Gothitelle didn't really do anything in the battle, just the other 3 Pokemon did. So I have no information on Grimmsnarl and Rhyperior, but I think we can make some educated guesses. So, this Brionne, it has Aqua Jet, Sing, and Protect for sure. They showed those 3 moves in our battle. And I'm guessing that the last move is not an attack, because at one point, Brionne didn't really have anything to do except attack, and they used Aqua Jet for like no damage into my Pokemon. And I think in that position, if they'd had a special water attack or even Icy Wind, there was just no reason not to click that instead. So I think the last move on Brionne is not an attack, and I've penciled in Perish Song because this is in part a Perish Trap team, as you can probably see here. But what this Brionne did against me, it did 2 things. One, it used Aqua Jet to set up their Terra Fire Weakness Policy Koraidon, immediate +2 boost for what is already, has been proven already by Wolf Glick to be an extremely powerful threatening Pokemon if you build out its set correctly. But yet, with that weakness policy, taking like nothing from the Brionne's Aqua Jet, it gets that much more dangerous for those couple of early KOs if you lead it, or there are probably other ways to play it as well, but that's what they did in our game. And then, like I said, it is a Perish Song team. The Fluttermane in the back definitely had Perish Song. I don't know the rest of its moves. I've penciled in Moonblast, Icy Wind, and Protect. This being a Perish Trap team, I'm assuming every Pokemon has Protect. That's certainly always the way that Wolf Glick says to play Perish Trap. But yeah, I haven't said it yet. I was trying to build a little bit of suspense, but I did lose to this team in the Global Challenge. I am 0-1 against Brionne this weekend, and that's exactly what they did. They set up their weakness policy Koraidon turn 1, got a couple of KOs, and then brought in Fluttermane against my last 2 Pokemon and won the game with the Perish Song. As far as filling out the rest of the sets go, obviously I've taken some inspiration from Wolf Glick's EUIC winning team, but I have put Trick Room on the Gothitelle because there's a Rhyperior here. And actually there's a Brionne as well, which is a slow Sing user. You can see I'm running min speed Brionne. It's so that I have the opportunity to set up Trick Room and potentially put Pokemon to sleep with that speed control before they can do anything. Sing is only 55% accurate. I'd say they got the hits that they needed in our game, but they definitely missed some as well. So that's something to keep in mind, but if it works, it should pay off very nicely. I have double Fake Out in the Gothitelle and the Grimmsnarl. It's just a screens Grimmsnarl. I do have to have Protect because Perish Trap, but like I said, they didn't bring it to our game, so it's just my guess that it probably had a screen set. It might not have. It could very easily not have, actually. But I do think double Fake Out is important for an authentic recreation of this kind of team. It can open some holes for the Koraidon and even the Fluttermane to do damage. Terra Normal Focus Sash from Wolf Glick inspiration, but I will not be leaking any of his EV spreads in this video. And then finally the Rhyperior. So obviously it can be a Trick Room attacker, which is why I've put Trick Room on the Gothitelle. But my best guess is that Rhyperior is here to help into opposing Miraidon, prevent them from Volt Switching out because Lightning Rod will block Volt Switch. Yeah, just make it easier for Koraidon to deal with its motorcycle rival. So I've built it like the Rhydon that have been getting results at major tournaments recently, and I assume the reason that it's a Rhyperior instead of a Rhydon on this team is not because it secretly has some other different set, but because Rhydon needs an Eviolite to be bulkier than Rhyperior, and the Eviolite is used up on Brionne in this case. That's my guess as to why it's a Rhyperior, but again, I did not see it in our game, so I can't be sure what its set was, except it definitely didn't have a weakness policy because they used that tech on Koraidon. So yeah, I got cooked by this team in the Global Challenge, and I thought it was so cool losing to a Brionne that I had to see if I can make some other people lose to Brionne. I forgot to name the team, it's just Untitled 1, but yeah, we'll give it a go here. And there is some really creative team building here, right? Like, the Trick Room, I don't know for sure that they had Trick Room on their team, but if they did, that kind of adds another layer with the slow sing from the Brionne, Rhyperior stepping in for Rhydon because the Eviolite is taken. You get it. We're definitely not doing open team sheets because this is a Global Challenge team. So, okay. Psychic Terrain does not stop. Well, they don't have Psychic Terrain anyway. It's a Miraidon team. I don't think it stops Side Aqua Jet. That might be relevant later. How do I play into Whimsicott Miraidon? That actually seems tricky. Because, like, I can go for the Aqua Jet setup on Koraidon, but I probably want to have Rhyperior available, right? I think Rhyperior is probably a matchup piece for Miraidon teams. And I was not using Miraidon, so it makes sense they didn't bring it against me. I could lead Fluttermane. Actually, I kind of like that. I could lead Koraidon, Fluttermane. And if I see Miraidon, I can switch one of them, probably Koraidon, out to Rhyperior. Stop a Volt Switch, get some damage into the Miraidon. And then I have Koraidon and Brionne in the back. I think I like that. Okay, Miraidon, Iron Crown. Okay, Iron Crown might actually be an issue because it can click Tachyon Cutter into Rhyperior, and I'm running Terra Fairy for no reason except that it's what the Rhydon sets recently have been running. But of course, that means that the weakness to Tachyon Cutter cannot be turned off. So in this position, I actually might want to keep Koraidon in instead of Fluttermane, because I don't have Shadow Ball in this Fluttermane. Because unlike on Wolf's team, it is definitely running Perish Song. They used that against me. So something has to give to make room for that, and I decided it could be either Shadow Ball or Icy Wind. It can't be Moonblast or Protect. Maybe I'll change my mind about which one to drop later, but yeah, I'm gonna Terra Fire, Flare Blitz the Iron Crown, and switch to Rhyperior. Long story short here, because I want to remove Iron Crown so that Rhyperior is a little bit safer. Okay, well, you know, I was gonna say they got me. They called that pretty well, but actually, no, I just switched a Steel Weakness in for a Steel Weakness. Alright, I'm gonna forfeit. We're gonna pretend that game didn't happen and move on to another one. I actually probably should have just led Brionne and Koraidon there, huh? And then that Flare Blitz would have been a problem for something. Although, if it's max speed Miraidon, that might not work. Okay, well here we have a Dawn Wings Necrozma team. Dawn Wings Necrozma is actually a little bit of an issue as well, because I could try to knock it out turn 1 with Koraidon. Actually, hold on. Brionne is slower than Necrozma. So even if they redirect into Indeedee and I knock that out, I do then have Sing on the board in Trick Room if they set that up. So I'll go Koraidon, Brionne here. But what other 2 Pokemon do I want? Rhyperior honestly could make sense into Torkoal. It's a pretty suspect matchup spread otherwise, though. It is slower than Iron Hands, so that's something. Rhyperior might actually make sense. Fluttermane probably makes sense too, but doesn't want to play in Trick Room. Gothitelle can reverse Trick Room and maybe fake out, not in Psychic Terrain though. I really don't know what the Grimmsnarl is for on this team. Is this a Grimmsnarl matchup? I probably have the Grimmsnarl set very wrong. I feel like you probably want to have Spirit Break or Foul Play or something on this set. It might not be a Screens Grimmsnarl at all. That said, Screens wouldn't be that bad here, but I'm going to bring Rhyperior and Fluttermane. Alright, so this is the lead that I saw in the Global Challenge, Koraidon and Brionne. And like I said, I am just going to Terra Fire, Flare Blitz. Actually, I'm thinking about Flare Blitzing Indeedee. cover for a protect, but no, that leaves me vulnerable if they just attack. I'm just gonna Flare Blitz Necrozma. Oh! I can't Aqua Jet Koraidon if they follow me. Well, in that case, let's just Sing. I'll click Sing into Necrozma as well. So if they redirect, yeah. Yeah, indeed he's knocked out. Now I have a chance to put Necrozma to sleep before it says Trick Room. 55% chance, very slightly in my favor, and it does work out. Brion putting in work here in definitely the first game of the video. What, did you think there was another one? I'm going to Flare Blitz the Great Tusk here, and I'll activate the weakness policy. I could close combat the Great Tusk. Avoid taking recoil, but yeah, I'm just banking on Necrozma not waking up. I could be in trouble if it does, but better than taking a hit from Great Tusk. Yeah, I'll close combat the Great Tusk. And side Aqua Jet. Oh, okay, Terra Grass. And it's probably fine. Going from a neutral hit to a neutral hit. Flare Blitz would have been super effective, but it doesn't matter from, excuse me, +2 Koraidon and Sun, and Necrozma stays asleep. Iron Hands can, of course, give Necrozma a chance to wake up with the fake out pressure, but I'll just Flare Blitz Necrozma anyway. If they fake me out, it's not the end of the world. And I'm actually down to just click Perish Song here from Brion as an extra win con. You know, if they had stopped Koraidon from attacking there and Necrozma had woken up, it might have still have gotten a little dicey. But with the Perish Song, now everything's on a timer, except my Pokemon in the back. And here comes the Flutter Mane. And here comes I might as well just double protect, actually. Just to be sure that I have that Perish win con ticking down. And then I'll Moonblast and Sing. If they hadn't forfeited there, even if they avoided the Sing and knocked out Flutter Mane, of course they still had Rhyperior in the back. So that's more like it. That's how this team is supposed to play. That's pretty much... I mean, there was there's a little bit of difference in the move order there, and a different Pokemon in the back, but otherwise it was pretty much how they played against me in the Global Challenge. Dondozo, Okidogi, Shadow Rider, Indeedee. This is awkward. How do I beat this? Do I need Grimmsnarl for this game? Just because I need Light Screen to hold out long enough against the Shadow Rider? I think that might be the case. Maybe. Maybe. How do I beat Shadow Rider Calyrex with this team? Maybe I do need Shadow Ball in the Flutter Mane. It's just Icy Wind. This team, on a team with not a lot of speed control, Icy Wind is kind of hard to pass up. This is... yeah. I can't remember whether this is public or not, but it's not much of a leak. This is why Wolfglick couldn't fit Perish Song on his Flutter Mane. I think I bring Flutter Mane here for sure. Do I lead with it or not? I'm going to lead Koraidon, and I'm going to lead Brion. I'm going to trust the process, bring Flutter Mane in the back, and I'm going to say no Grimmsnarl. I'll bring Gothitelle. I can threaten Okidogi and Amoonguss with Psychic. Okay, they lead Okidogi and Calyrex. Yeah, I'll just take a big Flare Blitz into Calyrex if I can. I can even Aqua Jet it to break a possible Focus Sash. Are people still running Sash Shadow Rider? I'm down to cover for that. Maybe a side Aqua Jet to make sure Koraidon hits harder would be more valuable here, but I don't know. Terra at least helps with that. They might be having some trouble figuring this one out as well. So yeah, Aqua Jet to break a possible Sash. They just Astral Barrage. There's a lot of damage to both my Pokemon, but no KOs. They had a Life Orb. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't need the weakness policy now. Koraidon would have been knocked out by recoil. That doesn't matter either. Okidogi closes that out. They didn't terastallize, so they can still terastallize Okidogi, which is not great because that then might not be threatened by Gothitel's Psychic, but I'll go Gothitelle here. Honestly, I think I'll just try to Perish Trap these two Pokemon and then beat whatever their last one is with Flutter Mane. I think that makes the most sense here. So, I can't Fake Out. I also can't Terra. There are a lot of ways this could go wrong. I'll just protect Gothitelle this turn and... actually, I'll Psychic Okidogi here, see if they let me get away with that. Then I have the Protect available next turn when I can click Sing with Brionne. They redirect the Psychic. They miss a Gunk Shot into Brionne, so that's good for me. Psychic doesn't do much to Indeedee, so that Follow Me just kind of always shuts that down. But I'll just double Protect here. I suppose I could try to Sing the Indeedee, but I really don't want Brionne taking that Gunk Shot. At least I want to avoid that as long as possible. And, you know, if I avoid it long enough, then I can get Flutter Mane in safely and position it so it won't take a Gunk Shot. So best to preserve Brionne here as long as I can. As they actually just double into it, so yeah, that Protect was definitely correct, and I probably will not get a Sing off now, but I'm definitely down to try. I think they'll redirect this Psychic, but might as well keep them honest. Let's try to Sing the Indeedee. Indeedee does not redirect the Psychic, it actually attacks Gothitelle. Brionne would survive the poison, or would survive the Gunk Shot, except it gets poisoned, so it doesn't. That makes up for dodging it previous turn, I guess, but now I get Flutter Mane in. All three of these Pokemon will drop to Perish Song. I guess Indeedee falling asleep didn't really matter in the end, but... You know, I still think it was important to protect that previous turn, especially since if Brionne had been poisoned then, the same way it would have been knocked out. And now I can protect both of my Pokemon. Gothitelle will go down, but Flutter Mane will not, and we just, again, hope that Flutter Mane beats whatever their last Pokemon is, which it seems like a not terrible bet, given that it's a Flutter Mane, and it has a Focus Sash intact. Yep, 3 Pokemon drop. Flutter Mane's the only one left. And their last, they've thrown a lot of strong Pokemon at me already. What they're left with is... We'll see. Dondozo. Okay, but there's no Tatsugiri. I don't have any stat changes for it to ignore anyway. I'll just Moonblast it. For exactly half. Oh, I'm going to lose to this, huh? If they have leftovers. They don't have leftovers, so I can win. Don't know if that was a roll or what, but yeah, pretty much the closest possible win there. GG to that opponent. I guess the closest possible win is 0-0, but Flutter Mane at 1 HP holds on and clutches it out against the Dondozo after Perish Song Brionne opened the path for Flutter Mane to clutch up. That was a nice game. Let's get another. Another Shadow Rider team. This one has Weezing, Chanpao, Dragonite stuff. I've heard of these teams, but I'm not very familiar with them. How do I beat this? Honestly, maybe Koraidon Brionne. It won't be in Sun, but I still don't think a Galarian Weezing wants to take that Terra Fire +2 Flare Blitz. Dragonite is tricky, though. And so is the Chanpao after Koraidon terastallizes, because it doesn't resist the Sucker Punch anymore. Can I do something with Rhyperior in this game? Rhyperior is strong into a few of these Pokemon. I don't know. I think I'm down to do Koraidon Brionne lead. Flutter Mane, and that probably implies Gothitelle last. It's tricky, though. I'm actually going to do Rhyperior last. Might be a little bit awkward, but we'll see. I mean, ideally, I don't even need it to win the game. But, okay. So, yeah, Koraidon does not get its ability here, but I'm just going to Terra Fire. I'm actually going to Flare Blitz the Shadow Rider, because Galarian Weezing like to protect, and also Shadow Rider is such a threat. And I'll just Aqua Jet Koraidon. Koraidon will probably take a lot of damage one way or another this turn, but hopefully it will at least... Actually, if it makes a trade, that's probably not good enough because I don't have a whole lot of damage in the back. But maybe I can win with Flutter Mane, set up a Perish Trap. Ah, they protected Calyrex. Okay, I got that wrong. That's unfortunate for me. Toxic Spikes. That's not good. First of all, I can't Perish Trap if I go down a Pokemon here because I didn't bring Gothitelle. Second, my Pokemon in the back are susceptible to Toxic Spikes and they'll break Flutter Mane's Sash. Anyway, I'm going to Protect here and try to put the Calyrex to sleep because I feel like I need something like that to work out if I'm still going to win this. There it goes. Does Brionne survive? Pretty handily, actually. I assumed they probably had a good bit of special bulk on their Brionne from the way it was taking hits from my Pokemon, but we missed the Sing. And that's what happens when you use a 55% accurate move. I'll try to get rid of the Calyrex here. And we haven't seen Life Orb damage this time, and we know it's not choice, so I'll Aqua Jet to cover for a Focus Sash. But I think it's going to knock out Koraidon before... Oh, nope, not quite. Not quite. We will trade Koraidon for Calyrex. However, Brionne also went down, and my two Pokemon in the back are going to be poisoned now. And I have the Iron Hands. Of course, they can't fake out Flutter Mane. My abilities do nothing at this point. Actually, Lightning Rod does something. Actually, if they don't have Heavy Slam on Iron Hands, Lightning Rod makes Flutter Mane very hard for them to remove until Rhyperior goes down. So I'm trying to think about whether it's worthwhile to prioritize the Weezing here, but I also just don't have very good damage into the Weezing. I mean, I can Moonblast Iron Hands. I think I'll Protect around a possible Fake Out on Rhyperior, and then both these Pokemon are weak to high horsepower. It's a question of priorities. Actually, if Flutter Mane gets through this turn, then it should be able to knock out Iron Hands from there. They do have Heavy Slam. Okay. Well, can't win them all. Let's just see if I can remove the Iron Hands. Doesn't look like I can. Nope. Okay. Can't expect Brionne to work every game. I'll play until one more loss, as is typically how I tend to do things here. We've got a Zamazenta team here. Can't say I've thought this matchup through. Ideally, I guess, they don't have Rain Dance on the Tornadus, or they don't bring it, and Koraidon can just Flare Blitz through things like Zamazenta, Rillaboom, maybe Chien-Pao, but that one's trickier. But I can click Flame Charge into Chien-Pao and at least break a Focus Sash and get some speed. So, how are we feeling? Shall I just do the Koraidon Brionne lead again? Kind of feels like that's what this video is about. And I'll bring Flutter Mane, because Flutter Mane is really good with that Focus Sash, as Wolf demonstrated, and it's an offensive threat into a lot of these Pokemon, as long as it gets an attack or two off. And I could bring Gothitelle and open up the Perish Trap option, if the Chien-Pao is removed. I feel like Rhyperior doesn't do very much here. I think I got the Grimmsnarl set wrong, because I really don't see the vision for Grimmsnarl with the set that I've come up with. But it's probably... Maybe it has like Thunder Wave. Ooh, Thunder Wave would actually be good on this Grimmsnarl. It's probably like Fake Out Thunder Wave Spirit Break. If I win this game, I'll change it before the next one. But I'll bring Gothitelle to this game. Yeah, because I keep talking about the speed control. Thunder Wave Grimmsnarl could actually make a fair bit of sense here. And I don't think the screen's idea quite works. But that was my first thought when I saw a Grimmsnarl, and of course I hadn't seen it in our game, so I don't know what the creator's set actually is. I feel like the Terra Fire on Koraidon is super telegraphed here, and I'm worried about like a Stone Edge or Stomping Tantrum coming out from the Entei, but I think I just have to do it anyway, and... Close Combat Entei? I do not like the idea of letting the Torn just kind of hang out here, but... Yeah, Entei is a threat, because it can also Extreme Speed Koraidon, and Koraidon is never faster than that. So I'll side Aqua Jet and Close Combat Entei here. Terra Grass. Rain Dance. Brionne did 30% to my own Koraidon in the rain. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And of course, Koraidon, well, it's not weak to Bleak Wind Storm anymore, but Bleak Wind Storm hits pretty hard, and they'll land all of them now. They DC'd, though, so I might win. I did 30% to my own Koraidon. I explained why I'm running Min Speed Brionne, but I really don't think this team has much of a Trick Room mode. If Gothitelle is supposed to have Trick Room at all, so I actually probably should be running Min Attack Brionne. Also, does the speed lowering nature even matter that much to a Pokemon with base 50 that isn't doing a whole lot in most positions? So it looks like they're not coming back. So hey, a win is a win. And before the next game, I'm going to make those changes. So it's going to be Min Attack Brionne instead of Min Speed. Oh, I have 31 IV too. I didn't notice that. Of course, because Showdown automatically sets it to 0 if you don't have a physical attack, but I do have a physical attack. But yeah, we'll go Min Attack Brionne now. I'm going to change Grimmsnarl to Thunder Wave. I think I like Spirit Break here. It could have Parting Shot, actually. Because then you have a way to lower their damage, and you can find room for a move, or for an attack. But I think Thunder Wave is cool here, and since I don't have the Light Clay anymore, well, I don't have screens, I don't need the Light Clay, so I'll go to a Covert Cloak, and that means I can change its Terra type if I want. And for not much reason, without much thought, I'll just slap on Steel. Okay. Ooh, Hisuian Zoroark. Okay. There's Zamazenta team as well. The thing is, Hisuian Zoroark and Qianpao can't both have the Focus Sash. And Koraidon can, if it tries to blast through a Zamazenta, it'll definitely blast through a Hisuian Zoroark. So it does look kind of troublesome at preview, and it probably is in some matchups, but I'm not sure this matchup really has to care that much about it. We'll see. I'll bring Fluttermane. And I think Grimmsnarl is still sitting on the bench, especially when they have at least two, probably only 2 dark types. They might have 3. I'll bring Gothitelle. Actually, bringing Gothitelle into dark types is not that sensible, but like, you know, I can't Thunder Wave a Qianpao or an Incineroar. Okay, Super Telegraphed Rain Dance here, which is actually a problem. I think I don't Terrastallize Koraidon here, because it could probably take a Surging Strikes if I don't. And it could be Sash or Shifu, so I think I honestly just want to Close Combat an Aqua Jet or Shifu this turn. Ah, they detect. No. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to switch Koraidon out to Gothitelle. Ideally, it comes in on a Close Combat. And I'm going to click Sing into... Actually into Torn. Because Gothitelle can Fake Out Urshifu, I can go for another Sing. Or something. Okay, it is Close Combat. Nice. I can also Psychic Urshifu. We missed the Sing. That's okay. It misses about half the time. I mean, it's not... You know, I don't know about... Okay, it's not good, but... It happens. I kind of want to Terra Water Gothitelle here, stand up to the Surging Strikes and just Psychic the Urshifu, so I think I will. And I'll Aqua Jet to break a possible Focus Sash. If they give me Urshifu here, I think I like that. Okay, Terra Stellar, so it'll still be weak to the Psychic. It takes 10% in Rain from the Aqua Jet, so... that Surging Strikes is going to KO, though, so I wasted my Terra. Oh well. Shows how familiar I am with Gothitelle. I can go Fluttermane here. Nope, because they'll just KO it through the Sash. I can go Koraidon here. They will turn the sun right back off, but... You know, so be it. I'm in a bad position. Gotta do what I can. Close Combat Urshifu, Sing Tornadus. Take a lot of damage from their own Close Combat. We do finally knock Urshifu out, but it's probably too little too late. Landed the Sing this time, though. Brionne is a little bit awkwardly positioned because I'm 1000% not going for the weakness policy stuff anymore. It's literally not possible at this point. But I have Tailwind up. Oh, but only for one more turn, and Torn is asleep, so I can protect Koraidon here, and I can Sing Zamazenta. And then I'm looking to Close Combat Zamazenta, I guess. Come on, Brionne. Nice! Landed the Sing. Okay. Of course, if Torn wakes up, then I'm kind of just cooked, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes. I guess I'll chip Torn. Aqua Jet is doing not terrible damage in the rain. Unfortunately, Close Combat is looking like a 3-hit KO into Zamazenta. I think Tornadus will definitely wake up now. No, it still can sleep one more turn. And I think that's what I need. Actually, Koraidon's faster, so Koraidon can definitely attack Zamazenta. I'll Close Combat, even if Tornadus goes for Bleak Wind Storm. I'll go for Close Combat and Aqua Jet and hope that double up KOs Zamazenta. It looks possible. Oh, it worked. Nice. Okay, can I win with Flutter Mane now? Or even with Perish Song? It might be possible to win with Perish Song. And I think that's what I have to go for in front of this Qianpao. This will probably speed tie with Koraidon. Or if not, it can Sucker Punch. Given that it can Sucker Punch, I think I protect Koraidon here and I go for the Perish Song. Nice. Brionne will survive this for sure. Yeah, easily. D-drop doesn't matter. I get Perish Song. I guess I just click Protect with Koraidon until it doesn't work. And I can protect Brionne this turn. Or I can try to sing the Tornadus, because I might need Flutter Mane to take one hit to win this endgame. But if they both hit Flutter Mane, then it's in trouble. So I'm going to try to land a Sing onto Tornadus again. I'm 1 for 2 so far. Koraidon gets the double protect. Nice. We know we take this Bleak Wind Storm. Oh, it crits, but we still take it. And we land the Sing. Okay. And that might be game winning there. Although Koraidon getting the double protect is also very good, because it means one more turn. Okay, the double protect actually won the game, because Flutter Mane doesn't have to come in until the next turn, and then it can just protect and win. So this one looked bad at first, but we pulled through in the end. And the Perish Song Brionne was what clutched it up in this case. We didn't get to do the Aqua Jet stuff in this game, but Brionne still put in a ton of work, and even though it's not a Pokemon I think about very often, you definitely love to see that. Yeah, just protect, and might as well go for the double protect with Brionne here, but that doesn't matter. Flutter Mane protecting wins the game. Unreal. This team is so cool. I'm glad that I signed up for the Global Challenge, just so that I could face stuff like this. We go again. Ooh, Cobalion with Whimsicott, so probably beat up Justified setup, and then the Whimsicott also sets Tailwind for the Shadow Rider Calyrex, which also has Indeedee to set up Psychic Terrain. This is a scary looking team, I think. Probably scary. Grimmsnarl is still gonna get benched. I can't Thunder Wave in Psychic Terrain. And I'm really feeling the Koraidon Brionne Primarina. Nope, there's no Primarina here. Koraidon, Brionne, Flutter Mane, Gothitelle mode. I don't think there's a reason to bring Rhyperior to this game, so I will just bring those 4 again. Okay, they just lead Psy Spam. That could be very bad for me if it's Sash Shadow Rider, but this Indeedee does not have Follow Me because it's male. Okay, here's the thing. I was thinking I could sing the Shadow Rider, but actually, if they just Astral Barrage and Expanding Force, or Expanding Force, I'm not confident Brionne ever gets that sing off. So I'm just gonna go for that +2 Flare Blitz into Calyrex and hope that it's not sashed. Welcome to Best of 1 closed team sheet. Astral Barrage, but I think Koraidon will live. Yeah, narrowly. The problem is I think Indeedee probably knocks out Brionne now. Yeah, it does. But into that turbo powerful offensive lead, I don't know that there was much I could do. And they have a single striker Shifu, which is something I didn't even really think about on this team, but it makes a lot of sense. So I don't think there's a Perish endgame here. And we haven't seen the Focus Sash, so good chance it's on the Urshifu. It could be on the Indeedee or even the Whimsicott, but I think the Urshifu is most likely. However, I'll Moonblast it and hope for the best. I can't Fake Out, but I also can't Psychic Urshifu because it's a Dark type. I don't want a Trick Room here. Probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't want to Trick Room here, so I guess I'll just Psychic the Indeedee. That's the best move I've got on Gothitelle. It's not Sashed or Shifu. It drops to a Moonblast. I do not think that crit mattered. It's a double weakness. Hang on, might still be in this. Imagine if I click Trick Room there, though, because I could reverse it then. I'm going to Protect and try to Trick Room here. They might do something clever, like just keep clicking Trick Room with Indeedee. They might even have Imprison. Nope, they're just expanding force. Gothitelle doesn't take much from that. Trick Room is gone again. And I'll just Moonblast. Could I even Perish Song here? What's their threat into Gothitelle, right? Because Indeedee is not doing much damage to Gothitelle. Does Ogerpon do a lot of damage to Gothitelle? They have Woodhammer, it might. Alright, I'm just going to Moonblast Ogerpon and Psychic Ogerpon. They Terra Water, that gives them a special defense boost. They really don't take much from that. Do they knock out Fluttermane here? They do. Okay, so I lose. But again, I'm not confident that I could have won a Perish endgame with this either, because Fluttermane still goes down that turn, and then I just have Gothitelle against these two for 3 turns. I'm going to Protect to get out of the terrain. They will get extra Ivy Cudgel damage when the sun wears off, but they protected Ogerpon anyway, so no use trying to Psychic it there. Maybe I can win if this Psychic crits. Dazzling Gleam on the Indeedee. They did have another way to damage Gothitelle, and they just knock it out with an Ivy Cudgel. Okay. Well, that was a very powerful offensive team that I just didn't have the tools to deal with in this position. Honestly, maybe this was one where Screen's Grimmsnarl would have come in handy, but it's hard to say because that Ogerpon with the Ivy Cudgel boosted crit rate hitting on the physical side while their main thing is special spam. It's just a lot of offense. It's just hard to deal with. Sometimes you lose these, especially when you're running let's be honest, weak Pokemon like Brionne as a key part of your main mode. But I had a lot of fun in this video. This is probably one of my favorite laddering sessions in a while. For sure, yeah, easily. This was such a cool team. I really love the Global Challenge text that people come up with. Maybe I need to take the actual time and properly cook for one sometime before their run is over this year. But that Brionne put in a lot of work today with the side Aqua Jet into Koraidon. Even with the Aqua Jet to cover for Focus Sashes on the opposing teams. I don't know that my Global Challenge opponent had Perish Song, but I figured that was a good bet to be the last move, and it really came in handy here. I won a couple of games with Brionne Perish Song endgames, and then, of course, the Sing. It's almost a coin flip, but when it works out, it can really pay off. So this was just a fun attempt by me to recreate a team that I got cooked by this weekend. Let me know your Global Challenge story in the comments if you've been playing. Tell me about any wild techs you ran into or any particularly memorable games. I know some people complain about the chaos of the Global Challenge, and sometimes I feel frustrated and tilted by it when I'm actually playing. But reflecting on this right now, this was such a cool team, and I'm glad I got to see it. And so that's why I made this extra little video. So yeah, let me know in the comments how your run went.